Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and welcome to this week's Sticks radio show here on Seclo Sound. Two guests today, two lovely ladies. Later on in the show I'm going to be talking to Rietta Austin. She's part of a band called Back-to-Bacharach who are playing at the stables at the end of the month. Talking to her later on in the show. But my first guest is a lady called Justine Riddoch. She's the lady behind A Totally Tina. We'll be talking to her in a few minutes after we hear from Justine, and this is her version of the Tina Turner classic Steamy Windows. Okay, that's Steamy Windows. My guest today, Totally Tina. In fact, it's a lady called Justine Riddoch. Good morning, Justine.
Hi there, good morning, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, you are well, you're portraying Tina Turner, do you call it, or do you call it impersonating, or how do you describe it?
I think you describe it as impersonating.
Impersonating.
That's probably the best one.
Yeah, okay, well that's good. I mean, you've won. You're an award-winning tribute to the Queen of Rock and Roll. You were given the official #1 honour by the Agents Association of Great Britain, which they monitor all the tribute acts or whatever they call them in the UK. And you're officially #1, Tina.
Officially the #1. It's based on lots of different criteria, but you basically have to work extremely hard and spend a lot of money. And be the best. Or simply the best, as they say.
Yeah, simply the... I love that. That's a cracker. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tina. I had the great pleasure of seeing her at Wembley in the last show she ever did in the UK at Wembley Stadium with the Twin... That's pre-Twin Tower... When the Twin Towers were still there. Get my teeth organised this morning. And she is a fabulous performer, and I can see why you love taking her off, because she is a great performer, isn't she?
Oh, the energy and the sheer dynamo that is here on the stage is just phenomenal. She's fun. She's full of humour, but she's also she does it very without knowing that she has. It's strange.
Yeah.
There's no side to it whatsoever. There's no diva-ish.
No. Have you actually met her?
Oh no, I wish I had in one way, and in another way I'm a bit nervous too, in case she goes, hang on a minute, hey, you're from Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the sort of tribute acts, and they've sent their staff, shall we say, to sneak in and look and see what's going on. And look, most of the time, it's always positive. They love it. But, yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it's nice not to meet your heroes as well. And also, just in case also, I guess she could sort of stop you doing it and sort of say, you're rubbish, off you go. But we've got some music from you today, and we just heard the Steamy Windows, and... From that, you can tell you are amazing.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know, I mean, Because there are some...
The team go to an awful lot of effort and time to try and make it as good as possible. We do hope that if she did see it one day, she'd either crease herself on the floor laughing, or she'd say, job well done.
Yeah, well, either's a great tribute, really, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, let's go back to the, well, not to the very beginning, but you won Stars in Your Eyes many, many years ago. Actually, what, 13, 14, nearly 14 years ago.
Oh no, that long.
I know, it's frightening, isn't it? But you've been singing a lot longer than that, haven't you?
I really started when I was 11, from school plays and things like that. But professionally, I started when I was 19, which was obviously only a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
No, it was 25 years ago.
25 years ago. I tell you what, I know it's frightening to look back at all those times, those years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you used to. I mean, how did you sort of start off in show business?
When I was 11, I actually walked past the library in school, and they were holding auditions for a production of Annie, and I had very, very curly hair. And then when I walked past, I poked my nose in and thought, I'll do that. And the teacher saw me and thought, whoa, there she is. I didn't even know if I could sing at the time, but I had a little go at it, and I just got the bug from there.
Yeah, it's a great show, isn't it? I mean, it's still running now, isn't it? And I mean, it is a cracking show.
It is. It's fantastic. I mean, it was fun being that character the very first time, very first show I ever did. But to move on and do lots of different types of things. I've mainly been myself. Since I was 19, I started professionally singing. I've been Justine for an awful long time. It was only back in, I'd say, 2002, when I applied for Stars in Their Eyes, that I decided to start doing the tribute side.
Who was doing Stars in Your Eyes then? Was that Leslie or was that Matthew Kelly?
It was Matthew.
Matthew, because I lose track of who done it and whatever. And well, Harry Hill's doing it now.
Yes.
Having a go at it, isn't he?
He definitely has done it, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yes, he was pretty awful at it. We won't go into that one. Yeah, so that must be a great doing Stars in Your Eyes must be a great sort of event because of you're there. You sort of obviously there is yourself. Then you meet Matthew, and then you go through this smoke-filled door and whatever. And then they take me into makeup and costume, and they actually get you dressed up as the person. And I know. It's quite strange, but you didn't actually do Tina Turner in 2002, did you?
No, I'll say it was Anastasia, which I actually loved. I loved being that character. She was fabulous. To be honest, she was the only person I could be, because I used to put on this sort of southern soul voice whenever I used to sing songs like Aretha Franklin, and you couldn't go on Stars in Their Eyes unless you sounded pretty damn similar to the person. And what was great about Stars in Their Eyes, it wasn't like you pop Idol or X Factor and Britain's Got Talent. There was no prize at the end of it.
No.
It wasn't really a competition. Even though there was a winner at the end of it, it was a bunch of flowers and sort of a picture in the newspaper. So there was a lot of camaraderie with the rest of the contestants.
And I guess it opened
it was there for fun.
Yeah, I guess it opened a lot of doors for everybody. I mean, I've seen quite a few of the acts off there. I've seen Steve Steinman, I think he won the first one. He played Meatloaf, and he's still working as Meatloaf. I've seen quite a few of the acts that have been on there, and they're all top-notch acts. And you know, after all these years, are still performing. And you know, I always say, great talent will always come to the top.
Definitely, yeah. I actually work with quite a few of the different characters that have been on Stars in Their Eyes over the years.
Yeah.
Ronan Keating, Shirley Bassey, all sorts. I've met up with a lot of Stars in Their Eyes.
Yeah.
And we also did a tour back in 2004 called Stars in Their Eyes Live. That
Really?
was really fun. Yeah, well before X Factor used to do their live shows, Stars in Their Eyes had a little live show running around. Don't know if anyone ever saw it. But
I was involved in a tribute show a couple of summers ago. I was actually comparing the show, so I was performing on stage, but not singing, for thank God for everybody. And it was the most surreal experience I ever had. I was backstage, and there was Freddie Mercury talking to Robbie Williams. And I'm thinking,
I always say it's absolutely fantastic that at our age we all get to play dress up.
Yeah, it's
that's my job.
Yeah, it's I mean, it must be great. So what really? I mean, you've moved from Anastasia. Obviously, Anastasia really isn't doing too much at the moment, is she, and all that. So you moved from Anastasia to Tina Turner. What inspired you to do Tina?
Well, I never ever thought that I would. Lots of people used to come and see me when I was impersonating Anastasia. Said that I sounded just like Tina, and would would I consider doing it? So I had a look at a few bits and bobs, and I was really put off. I just didn't think I could get close to being such a legend, and it was frightening. And it's taken about 2 or 3 years to get everything correct. The hair was the most important thing to make me look like her, because I don't look anything like her naturally. And then it was obviously the movements and the costumes. And then eventually the main thing that I found, well aside from the voice, that worked was the facial expressions.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the reason I've watched you on YouTube and a few other clips of yourself performing. In fact, I've got you on my website at the moment, the Styx website, and with a YouTube clip, and you do look like her, and you move like her, because I've seen Tina a few times. There's one difference. Tina's over 70, and you don't look over 70.
No, I'm a little bit younger than my knees are getting quite old now.
Are they? I know that feeling only too well, I can tell you. I'm not 70, but I think I'm closer to 70 than you are, so...
Have you been dancing around in heels as well? As your knees gone?
Yeah, only on a Thursday night. But yeah, I mean, anybody who, we just heard the Steamy Windows. Anybody who wants to look you up, there is a website, Totally Tina, and on there is video clips and all that sort of thing. But away from Tina Turner, who's your favourite singer? Who do you actually listen to now?
I don't think I have a favourite singer. If anything, I have favourite songs.
Okay.
So something will capture my imagination, and I'll either love it and just listen to it over and over again and not sing it, or I'll learn it and start singing it. I tend to find once I've learned the song and I've started to sing it, it's no longer my favourite. My favourite at the moment is Adele's new song.
Oh, Hello. Oh,
wow.
She's amazing. I was out in the States about 8 weeks ago when the album was released, and they were going wow about her on the telly over there. I mean, her Hello had in excess of 250 million hits on the YouTube clip. That is in a week, and that is amazing. I mean, she's such a talent, isn't she?
So different and dynamic.
Yeah, she reminds me of Dusty Springfield.
Yes.
I can see lots. I mean, I knew Dusty from years ago. I actually looked after her for a small period of time, so I met her very, very intimately when she was over here, when she did the song with the Pet Shop Boys. I used to look after Dusty, and so I see a lot of Dusty in here, which is a good thing. I mean, Dusty Springfield was a huge star in her time, and still is very well regarded now. So that's not a bad thing. I'm not criticising her. So you don't have a favourite singer at all, apart from Tina and of course Anastasia.
Not really, I don't think so. I've got such a diverse liking for music, lots of different genres. I can go from Josh Groban, I absolutely love his voice, right down, as you say, to the likes of Adele, but then I'll hear a Celine Dion track, like when, what's the song called now? I've forgotten the name of it. There's quite a few different unusual ones that are maybe album tracks.
Yeah.
And they just capture your imagination, and they don't leave you for a couple of weeks.
Because one thing I was quite interested in is when you were singing as yourself, when you were doing the cabaret scene, one of the things they said is you used to know 5,000 songs and became known as a human jukebox. Yeah. I found that every
week I used to get bored, and I think, I can't sing the same thing again. So I would learn hundreds and hundreds of tracks. I constantly keep getting lots of different karaoke things and just learning them as much as possible, just to keep it interesting for me.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where I had an enormous collection, and everyone says, how do you remember all that stuff? It's not just me that remembers this. Anybody remembers it. If you start playing the beginning of an ABBA tune that you haven't heard for years, I bet you any money you start singing the first line.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to remember things.
People, I must admit,
your master exam had been set to music, I think it would be okay.
Yeah, I mean, some people are a bit sniffy about ABBA, but ABBA have done fabulous things for the music business and continue to be successful. And, I think everybody, if we went around everybody's record collection, I'm sure somewhere there'd be an ABBA song. And, people are sort of sniffy about them, and I don't get it myself, but never mind. Away from the music business, away from the singing and the travelling and the touring and all that business, what do you do to unwind? Do you have a hobby or anything like that?
Sew costumes.
You sew costumes?
I'm actually learning.